Welcome to the IT Smart Guy podcast, a technology podcast aimed at the modern business owner. And here's your host, Tony Edwards. Hello and welcome to episode 27 of the IT Smart Guy podcast, the tech-based podcast for the modern business owner. My name's Tony, and in this episode, I'm going to be talking about Google's legal battle over monopoly, and I'm not talking about the board game, and Apple's new set of products. We will then go on to the brain dump, where I'll be talking about email security, and we're going to start a series of topics that will help you and your business remain secure when it comes to email. Finally, as always, I'll have a tip of the episode. Let's jump straight in to the news. Let's look at what's happening in the news. In a significant legal battle in Washington, D.C., Google is defending itself against allegations of monopolistic behaviour. The case is considered a pivotal test of US regulatory authority over tech giants, and it is expected to last 10 weeks. With prominent figures like Google CEO Sundar Pichai and Apple executives scheduled to testify. The lawsuit revolves around Google's payments to companies like Apple, Samsung and Mozilla to secure its position as the default search engine on their devices. The US government is claiming that Google pays over $10 billion every year for this privilege, which grants the company access to vast amounts of user data, thus solidifying its dominance in the search engine market. The Department of Justice argues that while there may be alternative distribution channels for search engines, defaults hold significant power. Google's financial agreements with other tech giants, it claims, demonstrates the critical role of being the default go-to search engine. Google, on the other hand, asserts that it faces intense competition from not only rival search engines like Microsoft's Bing, but also from specialised sites and apps catering specific user needs, such as restaurant searches or flight bookings. Google's lawyer contends that users frequently access the web through various means beyond the default search engine. The case also delves into Google's past dealings with Apple, suggesting that Google initially offered its search engine offering as Apple's default without payment back in 2002. However, as the competition grew, Google allegedly proposed payments and even threatened to withdraw if other firms received similar access. Additionally, Google purportedly discouraged companies like Apple and Samsung from expanding their own search products or working with alternative search methods. This lawsuit is marking the latest in a series of regulatory challenges that Google's faced, including a recent settlement over its App Store practices and ongoing federal litigation concerning its advertising business. European authorities have also imposed substantial fines on Google in previous monopoly-related cases. If the US government prevails, it has requested structural relief, which could potentially lead to the breakup of the company. Moreover, this legal battle occurs at a time when emerging technologies like artificial intelligence and novel search methods pose a considerable threat to Google's long-standing dominance within the search engine market. Do you think Google is in major trouble here? Or are they really just too big a company for this to be realistically trouble? Or will they face that breakup? Let me know what you think. Next up, Apple's much-anticipated September event unveiled a new lineup of products, including the iPhone 15 series, Apple Watch Series 9, and the Apple Watch Ultra 2. The iPhone 15 series features 4 models: the iPhone 15, the 15 Plus, the 15 Pro, and the 15 Pro Max. As expected, Apple removed the Lightning port from all models in favour of the more universal USB-C, and it introduced the dynamic island to each device. The Pro line of smartphones replaced the mute button or switch with an action button, and it's received a brushed titanium design. Notably, camera upgrades are also part of that Pro package. One exciting addition, however, was the improved ultra-wideband technology, offering precise turn-by-turn directions to friends, and the iPhones debuted in natural, white, black and blue titanium colours. The standard 15 and 15 Plus borrowed several features from the 14 Pro models, including a 48 megapixel main camera, up from 12, and the ability to toggle portrait mode on and off after taking a picture. Now, in the UK, Apple reduced the prices of 3 iPhone 15 models, making them up to £100 cheaper than their iPhone 14 counterparts. The base iPhone 15 starts at $799 for a 128GB model, while the 15 Plus starts at $899, both reflecting a £50 price cut. The 15 Pro received a more substantial reduction starting at $999, which is £100 less than last year's model. Pre-orders for the iPhone 15 commenced on September the 15th, with shipping set to start on the 22nd of September 2023. Apple also introduced the Apple Watch Series 9 and Apple Watch Ultra 2, featuring new processors for improved performance, enhanced battery life and brighter screens. The devices also incorporate second generation ultra-wideband chips, enhancing precision location and finding range. A notable addition is the double tap feature, allowing users to initiate actions with a double tap of their index finger and thumb on the wrist they wear their watch. Pre-orders for the Series 9 and Apple Watch Ultra 2 are available now. Notably, the original Apple Watch Ultra appears to have been phased out from Apple's direct sales channels, in the UK at least. After the event, Apple announced when it will be releasing its major new software updates for the iPhone, Watch and Mac. iOS 17 will arrive on Monday the 18th of September, as will watchOS 10, both timed around the launch of the new phones and watches. Both will be available as a free upgrade for almost all devices that can run the current updates. However, iOS 17 does drop support for the iPhone 8 and iPhone X. And these were released in 2017. macOS Sonoma, the update for Apple's computers, will arrive slightly later on the 28th of September, but that is relatively early for the new Mac update, which has in the past been pushed to October, November sort of time. Sonoma will be available for Macs and MacBooks that were released as far back as 2018, meaning if your Mac is 2017 and older, it won't be supported with the new operating system. What are your thoughts on the new products? Will you be getting a new watch or maybe a new phone on release day? I'm currently using a Series 4 watch and I would love to upgrade to an Ultra, but I think I may need to wait for a little bit longer for that. So that's it for the news. Let's move on to the brain dump. Before we go on to the brain dump, I just want to give a quick shout out to Lee Williams. I recently bought this cracking piece from Lee. As an Elvis fan, this encapsulates his style and my memories of him from watching his Aloha from Hawaii special from 1973, which I watched for the first time only 25 years ago. If you're looking for artwork to brighten up your home or office, I don't think you'll go far wrong with a piece of Lee's work. Check out her stuff at www.leewilliams.co.uk and I'll put a link in the show notes. On to the brain dump. It's time for the brain dump. Brain dump time! For the next few episodes, I'm doing something a little bit different. I've pressed pause on interviews so I can talk to you about email security. In today's interconnected world, email remains a cornerstone of communication, both personally and professionally. However, this means it's a prime target for cyber criminals looking to steal your data, infiltrate your network, or impersonate trusted entities. 91% of cyber incidents or data breaches come from phishing, and ultimately this is via email most of the time. Over the next few episodes, we're going to be looking at different elements of email security. From understanding the critical role of authentication protocols like dmarc, SPF and dkim, to Office 365 best practices and more. Today, we're going to delve into what those authentication protocols are and a little bit more detail. Now, some of this I know I have mentioned in a previous episode, but we don't always learn from hearing something just the once. So I thought it pertinent to talk about it again. Email authentication protocols are critical components of email security for a number of reasons. From the more obvious ones like preventing spoofing and reducing the likelihood of phishing, through to some of the more obscure like enhancing customer trust and compliance. Every business should have some sort of authentication in place. Now let's chat through some of the key ones. The first one is SPF, Sender Policy Framework. Now SPF is a DNS, Domain Name System, based email authentication protocol. This allows domain owners to specify which email servers are authorized to send email on behalf of their domain name. It defines a list of authorized mail servers using IP addresses within DNS records, which email receivers can check when receiving an email. Now, SPF prevents email spoofing by ensuring that the sending server is authorized to send email on behalf of the domain. If the SPF check fails, the receiving server can mark the email as potentially suspicious or reject it altogether, reducing the likelihood of phishing. I apologise, there are loads of acronyms in this one. Next, we have dkim, Domain Keys Identified Mail. dkim is another email authentication protocol that adds a digital signature to outgoing emails. This signature is generated using a private key and can be verified using a public key, which is published in those DNS records. dkim signatures cover specific parts of the email, ensuring that the email's content hasn't been altered during transit. dkim helps verify the authenticity and integrity of email messages. If the signature doesn't match, it suggests that the email may have been tampered with. It provides a layer of trust for email recipients, as they can be confident that the email came from the stated sender and hasn't been altered by malicious actors. Finally, we have dmarc, Domain-Based Message, Authentication, Reporting and Conformance. What a mouthful, huh? dmarc is a comprehensive email authentication protocol that builds upon SPF and dkim. It enables domain owners to set policies for how their emails should be handled if they fail either SPF or dkim checks. dmarc also includes reporting mechanisms that provide feedback to domain owners about email authentication results. dmarc helps combat email spoofing and phishing by allowing domain owners to specify what actions should be taken if an email fails authentication checks, such as marking it as spam or rejecting it. This provides valuable insights into email delivery and authentication issues through the reporting, allowing businesses to fine-tune their email security policies. They are the top 3 email authentication protocols. But how do they kind of work together? So, SPF, dkim and dmarc work together to create a robust email authentication system. SPF and dkim verify the sending server and the message integrity, while dmarc determines how to handle emails that don't pass these checks. When they're implemented together, these protocols enhance email security. They reduce the risk of malicious emails and build trust with email recipients. Email authentication protocols like SPF, dkim and dmarc play a crucial role in preventing email-based attacks and ensuring the integrity of email communications. When properly configured and implemented, they help protect businesses and individuals from email spoofing, phishing, and other malicious activities. So, do you need to implement all 3, or can you use just the one? So, it is possible to just use the one authentication protocol, typically this would be SPF, to improve your email security. But it's highly recommended to implement all 3 for a more robust authentication system. Each protocol serves a distinct purpose and provides a different layer of protection, and there are benefits of implementing all three. Comprehensive protection being the first. By using all three, it provides that layered protection. SPF verifies the source, dkim verifies the content, and dmarc helps define the policies and reporting for handling those failed checks. This multi-layered approach is more effective at preventing a wide range of email-based attacks, including phishing and spoofing. Number 2, it improves trust. When email recipients see that your emails pass all authentication checks, they are more likely to trust the legitimacy of your messages. This can help ensure that your emails are delivered to inboxes rather than being marked as spam. You get better visibility and reporting. dmarc in particular offers valuable reporting mechanisms that provide insight into email authentication results. By implementing dmarc alongside SPF and dkim, this allows you to monitor the effectiveness of your email security measures and address issues promptly. You've also got the compliance aspect as well. Some regulations and industry standards may require the implementation of multiple authentication protocols. For instance, dmarc is often recommended or mandated for compliance in a number of various industries. So while it is possible to use just one of these authentication protocols, best practice is to implement SPF, dkim and dmarc together for that more robust and effective email security strategy. This combination provides comprehensive protection against email-based threats and enhances the trustworthiness of your email communications. Do you know which of these three you use right now in your business? No? There is a quick way to check. And if you hang around for a minute or two, I'll tell you how you can just do that. Our tip of the episode. As I just said in the brain dump, there is a quick way for you to check your email authentication. And my tip today is for you to do just that. I want you to go to our domain scanner at bitsmart.tech/dmarc. There'll be a link in the description, and you can check your domain to see how it scores. This will score you against dmarc, SPF, dkim and bimi, bimi, which we haven't covered today, as that isn't something that will have a massive impact on your business unless your logo is trademarked. Now, when you do the scan, it will give you a score. This risk score it presents you with is based out of 10, but as bimi is factored in that score, it's unlikely you will score higher than 8. Do the check, let me know in the comments what you've got. Is it higher or lower than you expected? Why not check out some brands or some of your competition? See how you measure against them. My domain score is an 8 out of 10. That ranks higher than the likes of Waitrose and Sainsbury's, which is massive. If your score is low or lower than you expected, this means there are things you can do to improve your email authentication and security. You should speak to your IT support company. If you don't have one, as all of your IT is done internally, you might want to bring this up with them. Or give us a call and we can help. What a whistle-stop episode. I can't believe it's over already. Thank you so much for watching or listening. I truly hope you found this episode insightful, and I look forward to speaking to you again next time round. Before you go, I have one small favour to ask you. If you have enjoyed this episode, even if you haven't, please let me know. Leave a comment or a review. It's the only way I can get any better. And if you haven't already, give us a like and a subscribe. Click the bell on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. I've been Tony, the IT Smart Guy, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks for listening to the IT Smart Guy podcast. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please do consider to like and subscribe on your podcast platform of choice.